Hello, Des here and welcome to my channel. We're going to do a sort of get to know me video today because I can't record any makeup or beauty videos because I've just had an eye operation and I'm not allowed to wear any makeup at all, although I do have some lipstick on, but can't wear any makeup, eye makeup or foundation or any of that stuff, and obviously beauty products. I have got an SPF on, but that's about it. And I could do a fashion video, but really do I want to with an eye like this? And I've also got to take it easy because I've still got stitches and they're not coming out for a couple of weeks. So I thought it might be fun to tell you a bit about myself. Now I have done a couple of videos like this in the past, but I thought we might do a sort of grown-ass woman video, although I'm not entirely sure what grown-ass means. I have Googled it, but I'm going to give it a go anyway. And if you like this kind of video, let me know in the comments. And what I'd really love you to do is, when I've told you a bit about myself, please tell me a bit about yourself and why you watch my videos and what you'd like to see from me. Because I've been on YouTube for 2.5 years. I'm kind of working out what women of our age want me to talk about, but I would love to know more. So without further ado, let me tell you a little bit about myself. So I'm 69. I'm from London. I've lived here all my life, apart from a year when I lived up north in Lancashire in 1978, where I met my first husband actually. And in those days I was a singer. So I used to sing in dance bands, covers bands, I suppose you'd call them now, back in the day. And then eventually moved on to doing functions at weekends really. But I was a professional singer for a little while, making enough money to live on, but not a huge amount. And I really loved it, but I knew that I was not going to be a great singer. And my actual only claim to fame really was that I sang in 1982 at the Wembley Country Music Festival with this band called the Roxon Roadshow. And if I can find the video on YouTube, I'll link it down below for you. It wasn't my finest hour, but I had a wonderful time doing it. So I've always wanted to be a performer, and I come from a theatrical background. Those of you who watch my video about my mum's makeup box will know that. So my mum was an actress, my dad was a theatrical producer, and latterly a club manager. And interestingly, side note, he ran a sister club to the club Tramp. So his club was called Rags. And Tramp was the infamous club where Prince Andrew allegedly didn't sweat on the dance floor. So I gave up singing when I had my children and I decided to go to university and get an education because I hadn't done that at the normal age. So I went to university aged, what was I, 32, 33, and got a French degree. I decided to do French because I'd been to a French school. And I'd come out of school with a French A-level, so I thought, well, that's fine, I'll go and do French, when really I probably should have thought about it a little bit more, but I thought, well, I'm bound to get in somewhere to do French. So I came up with my degree after 3 years and thought that I'd like to be a French teacher, but actually, I'm so glad I didn't do that. I don't think I was really capable of doing it, or I probably could have pursued it, but I don't know. It didn't seem right somehow. So I was humming and hawing about what to do next. And I thought, I know, I'll be a lawyer. That's what I'd like to do. So I then went on to study for another 2 years and came out with a legal qualification to be a barrister, which in the States and other countries means that you're qualified to represent clients in court. Whereas here we have a sort of division, although it's not so clear these days, but it used to be very clear that a solicitor was somebody you went to see in an office who would prepare your case for you, and then the barrister would advocate for you in court. But now you have solicitor advocates as well, so it's a little bit less distinct. Anyway, that's what I thought I wanted to do. So I went to qualify. And then in practice, I realised that actually I didn't enjoy it because I thought I wanted to do crime. Academically, it was fascinating, but in real life, going to prison, oh my gosh. I remember going to this prison in central England. It took you about half an hour, 3/4 of an hour to get through security before you got to the prisoner to interview him. It was just horrible. I really didn't like it. So I'm afraid I gave up after about 9 months and realised it wasn't for me. So then after I gave up the law, I really struggled to find what I wanted to do. But a few years later, after actually not feeling terribly well and sort of looking after the kids and wondering what I was going to do, I went to volunteer in a charity's office. It was not a startup exactly, it'd been going for 10 years, but it was a breast cancer charity because a friend of mine had developed breast cancer. So I thought, well, that's a cause I'm interested in. So I went to volunteer in their head office and I found my calling. I absolutely loved it, and I ended up getting a full-time job there and worked there for about 7 years, and I really loved it. It was a fantastic charity doing wonderful work. And what I did was there, I looked after all the fundraising groups and committees who were raising huge amounts, some of them, for the charity. And I travelled all around the UK supporting these wonderful women and men who were raising huge amounts for the charity. So at this point, I'd be around my late 40s, and I'd also at that point split up with my husband and then got together with my current husband. And I was looking for a new opportunity, so I left that charity and went to a much smaller one, which was focusing on ovarian cancer, another cause very much related to breast cancer. And in the end, I stayed in the charity sector, but I had a few kind of unhappy times where I went to another one, which will remain nameless. And after a couple of years, I realised that sometimes small organisations can be really badly run. And I had a couple of run-ins with various people and realised that in the end, the charity sector was not for me. And I was coming up to 60, so I thought it's time to leave. So I left the charity sector and I decided to strike out on my own. Big mistake. Or at least it wouldn't have been a big mistake if I'd thought carefully about what I wanted to do, but I didn't. I'm not going to go into what I did really, but suffice to say, didn't do any market research. Thought I knew what I was doing, didn't have a clue, so ended up having to get another regular job completely in a different sector, which is where I am now actually. So I'm in local government and I enjoy my job and I feel like I'm making a difference as I did when I was in the charity sector. But during COVID, I started to watch a lot of YouTube. I'd always watched YouTube, or at least I'd started to watch YouTube probably about 10 years ago, but I really got into it in 2020. And I was trying to find some British women of my age on YouTube, and I was really struggling. And so I wondered whether I could start my own channel. So I did. So I started my channel in April 2021, and by November I'd grown to about 300 subscribers, only because I'd done this video on Lisa Eldridge's foundation cards. So I'd been able to swatch the cards. So I'd been able to swatch the foundation on the day that it came out, and or at least I released the video on the day the foundations came out. So that had helped me to get to 300 subscribers. But since then, it's been so tiny. And now I'm at just over 2,000 after 2.5 years. So it's been quite a slow process. But I'm hoping that I will learn from you today and going forward what you would like to see from me, so that I can hopefully increase my audience and my subscribers, because I want to give you what you want. I'm not here just to do what I want. Obviously, I've got to enjoy what I'm doing. So please do tell me what you would like to see on this channel. Now, I've tried not to just be a channel about purchasing makeup and beauty products and clothes, because that isn't what this channel should be about. On the other hand, I understand that a lot of women want to know whether a product is any good, and the only way to do that, or the only way for me to do that, is to buy the product, test it out, so that you don't have to, or at least I can tell you about it. So I do understand there's a kind of a tension, isn't there, between wanting to tell you about a product and tell you how great it is or how terrible it is or how sort of meh it is, and not wanting you to have to consume things. So it's kind of a tension. So this is why I'm so keen to hear from you as to what you would like me to be making videos about. Now, I haven't really addressed the issue of a grown-ass woman. I don't really, like I say, I'm not entirely sure what a grown-ass woman is, but I suppose it's a woman who is strong, who has self-belief, that I only really feel I've had in the last few years. I think it's taken me an awfully long time to be confident, to have self-belief, to understand my value. And I think that's something that I've really only learnt in the job that I'm in and in the time that I'm in, because I'm 69. I've got to 69. I'm healthy. I'm well. I've taken control of my health. I look after my gut health. I have regular checks. I feel really strong. And I want to share that strength with you. So please do let me know what you'd like to see on this channel, because I'm here for you. That's what I'm for. So there you have it. That is me as a grown-ass woman, as a woman touching 70, in her 70th year, on YouTube, making friends, having a good time, making connections. And I would absolutely love to hear from you about what you want to see me do going forward and what you think of this video and whether you want any more ramblings like this. And thank you so much for watching. It means the absolute world to me. It really does. And I hope this video has shown you how much it means to me, because I know I always say that at the end of all my videos, but it really does mean everything to me. And I would absolutely love it if you're new here, and welcome, and thank you so much for joining me. Please do consider subscribing to my channel. I would be so grateful, and give me a thumbs up as well, because it really helps YouTube put my videos in front of other women who might enjoy this type of content. And thank you so much for watching. It means the absolute world to me. It really does. And I look forward to seeing you, I hope, on my next video. Bye.